Shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson. Now, I was working on the spirit, moved me to go into something totally different. I was actually working on another lesson. Then I, was scrolling through some of my feed, and I saw this particular video, and I was like, this video is pretty heavy, man. It's spiritual, showing you that a gift. This person has a gift, even though they're handicapped. They have a gift that very few people on this earth can do. Um, and it kind of reminded me of us being in the truth, like. You see all the bug outs among our people that's totally confused. They don't know what's going on with the Bible. But yet the Lord left a remnant of the nation of Israel to be able to understand the truth. And that's a gift. It is nothing that we conjured up. It's not because we have good study habits, et cetera, et cetera. It's because the Lord chose to open up our understanding to his elect. We're the hopeful elect if we, finish the race. But you made it to this point, and that's very significant. So let's play this.
Holding the only photo she has of her late grandmother, she approaches a glass engraving artist and simply says, "Please help me preserve her face." The artist, remarkable, even though his body isn't perfect, creates something extraordinary. Using a tiny metal tool, he begins tapping thousands of tiny dots onto a glass sheet. It's called stippling, engraving drawing, without ink, using only small, precise dots. Every tap adds detail. Every dot brings the image back to life. Hours pass, and the grandmother's face appears on the glass, clear, vivid, and permanent. Because sometimes great people don't come.
Check that out. Ain't that something to see? This person has a handicap, but yet the Lord gave them a gift that very few people can do on this earth. And it brought me into this lesson to show you that the gift we've been given with faith and understanding this doctrine. Trust me, it's nothing that we did right. It's because the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that his people will wake up in the end times and remember their identity and wake up to the truth of the fact of what life is really all about before they, for it's time to go, right, get new bodies in a new existence. And it had to be something more than what we was given. I always knew this when I was a little, you know what I'm saying? I used to think that it had to be more than, what we see. So this is a gift that we've been given to understand this doctrine first off. And you think it's so easy for us to get it right. It's so easy, right? Why it's so easy? Because the Lord made us, easy for us, for a lack of better words. He made us be able to comprehend it. That's why we grasp it, with ease, so to speak. And the rest of the people in this world, they can't understand it. It's obvious to us, but they can't get it because the Lord has blocked them. They're going to show you like this gift right here. I'm going to use this as an analogy. There's very few people that can do this in the world. It's like us having the faith that we believe in. There's very few people that can tap into Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, the gift of faith, to believe on his doctrine. And if you look at the world, most people don't even know the Most High name. That's it's staggering because they know him as God and they know sweet Jivas, right? So they're going to show you that they out of it. They don't know what's going on. They've been blocked from the truth. But that's an awesome video right there. But, and I was just thinking about, how the hell did we wake up? The Lord told us we was going to wake up. It was a gift. There's nothing that we did. Like I said, it's not because we got good study habits. And, brothers tend to have good study habits. But I was reading the Bible as a child, never understood anything that I was reading. Even when I came into my adulthood, I didn't understand, what we fit in at. And I didn't understand the mysteries. You get the trivial stuff right, but I wasn't locked in into it until I woke up. The Spirit woke me up, and the elders. What I'm saying? When I start watching them, that's when my understanding started to flourish, right? So, because the basics, what I'm saying, you get the basics. We Israelites, we're not so-called black people, we're not Hispanic and Native Americans, but then you start building the foundation. Let's get into the scripture right here. These scriptures are the words of life. Baruch 2:30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because this is a stiff-necked people. The Israelites are stiff-necked. That means stubborn, hard-headed. But in the land of their captivities, that's in a plural sense, because we'll be spread from one end of the earth even to the other end of the earth in different under a pagan systems, right? The Edomite rule. they should remember themselves. So it's gonna be a time that we was gonna wake up and stop calling ourselves black people, Hispanic, Native American, stop being ignorant to what the Bible was talking about. He was gonna Yahweh was gonna reveal his name to us and his son named Yahweh Shai to us, and that's the building block of you starting to wake up, and then you start to submerge yourself in the word, and the spirit feeds you, little by little, and you get it right, and it becomes a thing of obsession. You know what I'm saying? I'm still obsessed with the truth. Can't get enough of it. Let's go here. So that was a wonder in that video. You know what I'm saying? But it's a wonder that we believe in this truth, that we have faith. How can we go and understand this Bible, yet things are so clear to us, but to these people, they are blinded. Matter of fact, let me get that first before I go here. And that explain to you what's really going on. Romans 11:7. And all these epistles, or letters, or whatever you want to call them, was only to the Israelites. That's another mystery to the world, because the people think the so-called New Testament was written to heathens. No, it was written to Israelites that were scattered in these various places, and that's a mystery. That's a stumbling block to the people of the world, but to us it's easy. Romans 11:7. It says, "What then? Israel have not obtained which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it." So the election of the nation of Israel, the elect, men and women, children, right, are going to understand. They're going to get it. I'm saying the children that's under, they're going to be covered if they of the elect under their father, right, and so on and so forth. How Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah work it out, right? But the elect is the elect. Nothing can change with that. You can't fall back into the world if you've been predestined for salvation. It's impossible for it to happen, even if you try to. I'm just saying that jokingly, but yeah, we locked in. We have nothing to go back to. And they go to show you, Jake, that go back into the world, they really didn't comprehend fully what they was a part of. They didn't get it because they was, Jake do it for various reasons. They do it to be a part of something. They wanted to be entertained. Jake wanted to be a part of something. That's that Muslim Nation of Islam effect. No, it says, and the rest were blinded. Let's go to this word blinded. I'm gonna jump back to that First Corinthians. So they have no clue what's going on. They can read the same scriptures rereading, but they're not gonna see it clear in their mind, right? Because their mind has been blocked from the truth with these different enchantments. It says in spiritual context, blinded generally refers to a state of being unable or unwilling to perceive and understand spiritual truths or realities. There you go, the truth. That's why we say we in the truth, because we got the truth in all things, right? So that's why you see the elder Maltazakba exposing all these different Christian bug eyes, different genres of them, from one extremity to the next extremity. Why are they bugging out? Because they don't understand. The most precious thing in the world is understanding. Let's keep going. It says it's not a physical blindness, but rather a metaphorical one of the heart and mind, which means the mind. It says hindering one's ability to grasp Yahweh presence. So most people still call on his God name. It's a false name. You've been blessed, and the Lord gave you to understand. He gave you his true name, Yahweh. It ain't Yahweh. It ain't Yah. You got them demons. It ain't Jah. It ain't all these other names that you've been given. It's Yahweh, right? And the son name is very important as well. It's the bridge to our salvation. That's why we say Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Think about all these people in this world don't know that. They don't know um, the simple foundation of anything. They still calling God and Jeebus. So when you hear them talk that way, this when they start talking about God and Jeebus, just consider yourself blessed, because that's what the world use. They blinded. They out of it. So I laugh. Sometimes we get vexed out, but you should rejoice. They don't know what's going on. The Lord chose you. You do. It says hindering one's ability to grasp Yahweh presence, his will, or the truth of the gospel. That's heavy, man. Because Jacob, started going on these rants because they lack of understanding. They still want to go into these pseudo things that they've been taught in this society. 1 Corinthians 12:1. It says, now concerning spiritual gifts. Remember, this is a gift from Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai for us to have faith and for us to understand. Understanding is the most precious thing. Brethren, go to show you this. It's talking about Israelites. I would not have you be ignorant. Have you ignorant, Salakia. Let's read 2. It's another mystery to the world. 1 Corinthians 12:2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles. That go to show you that it was talking about Israelites in a Gentile state of mind. You were Gentiles. Reading and understanding is a gift. It's an art to it. It says, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led. And that applies to us as well. Before we woke up, most of us still was calling on Jesus and God, right? Those false names. But now we've been quickened, made alive, given the understanding, given a breath, right, of the Spirit. Now we understand. That's another stumbling block, this word Gentiles. A Christian will read this and think anytime they see the word Gentile or Gentiles in a plural sense of it, it's talking about the other nations. No, you got to put it in context, but this is another mystery to the world. This was talking about Israelites that was going off because you got to know the history. They was under the influence of the Greek and the Romans. You had something called the Greco-Roman era, when all these different idols that our people have been succumbed to during the Alexander the Greek, during the Greek Empire and the Roman Empire. But that's a mystery to the world because the people don't know the history. It says Matthew 24:22. It says, except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, because these devils on a rampage right now, right? But for the elect's sake, the elect, right? It's all about the elect of the nation of Israel. You can't be no spiritual Israelite. You have to be a bloodline Israelite chosen from the foundation of the world. And that's another mystery to the world. They can't understand these deep things that we say. It's plain as day to us, but to them it's over their understanding. It says, for those days, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Right? So let's go here. I won't go make this too long. Salakia. I want to go to this Ephesians. Right. Ephesians. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Ephesians 1:4. It says, according, matter of fact, let's go up so you can get the context. Context is everything. And again, these Christians don't have the context because they'll go to Ephesians, the book of Ephesians, they'll go to the book of Corinthians, they'll go to the book of James, and they think it apply to the modern day Christian church or anybody that believe. That's nonsense. It's only talking about the Israelites. Let me show you this. Ephesians 1:1, Paul, an apostle of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, by the will of Yahweh, to the saints. The saints, I think that's in the book of Psalms. The saints are the Israelites. But again, a Christian not going to get it. They can't comprehend it. It's simple to us, though, which are at Ephesus. So that's where the Israelites were scattered to. And this epistle and all other epistles was written in Israelites that were scattered in these various places. Most people they can't point you out. A Christian can't point you out Ephesus on the map because they unlearned. And to the faithful in Yahweh Shai Mashiach, it says, let's go jump down to 4. It says, according as he have chosen us in him before the foundation of the world. That proves predestination, predestiny. Who is predestined to wake up at an appointed time, at an appointed day for everybody. That we should be holy and without blame before him in love. So yeah, this is all about the Israelites. If you're not an Israelite, you ain't got no business picking up the Bible, right? And you cannot be a spiritual Israelite. You have to be a bloodline Israelite through the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So hopefully this lesson has been edifying. Called Halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rachak, Kodash. Shalom.